Clock's ticking down in the 2024 Minnesota State Legislative Session. And while the House is sailing towards the finish line, the Senate is not. For the last 2 weeks, any major discussion has been repeatedly stalled by notions to remove Senator Nicole Mitchell. Mitchell facing charges of first-degree felony burglary for allegedly breaking into her stepmom's home in Detroit Lakes. Daily News Team's Quinn Gorham explains why the DFL's stance on this could dictate what the rest of the session looks like.
Monday will mark both 2 weeks until the end of the 2024 legislative session and 2 weeks since the arrest of Senator Nicole Mitchell. So far, Republicans have continued to introduce motion after motion on the Senate floor, attempting to keep the senator from voting. Republicans have motioned to urge the Senate secretary to request her resignation, bar her from voting entirely, and even restructure committees throughout the entire state Senate. So far, none of those efforts have been successful. Instead, DFLers continue to say that they'll let due process run its course, refusing to take action until the Ethics Committee issues a recommendation. That due process appears to be on its way. Next Tuesday, the Senate Ethics Committee will meet for the first time since Mitchell's complaint was filed. Minority Leader Mark Johnson spoke to media about his expectations on Friday.
Again, it's another opportunity for the Democrats to see the evidence. I mean, it's been very, very public, very blatant. And have an opportunity to after that take some action on how we're going to hold Senator Mitchell accountable.
Meanwhile, Majority Leader Erin Murphy responded later in the day saying she believes in a hands-off approach to the ethics process.
Senator Mitchell, of course, is not in our caucus expressly for this reason, that we don't want Minnesotans or our colleagues here to have any reason to believe that we are trying to manipulate.
According to Murphy, the two members of the caucus who are on the ethics subcommittee have been absent from caucus meetings whenever Senator Mitchell is discussed. As for that meeting itself, we expect it'll start off with a different ethics complaint, but Mitchell's complaint will likely be heard sometime on Tuesday afternoon. We'll have coverage of that meeting and everything that transpires in the public eye on Tuesday. Reporting in St. Paul, I'm Quinn Gorham.